So if you're like me and always looking for ways to become more productive, as at a certain point, you cannot work any harder, but rather the only chance you have is to work smarter. And in this video here, I'll be pulling back the curtain and sharing with you the app that has allowed me to work smarter so that I can achieve my goals faster, become more accountable to myself on a daily basis, and remember everything I read. Now, not only will I be sharing with you the app that this is, but I'll also be breaking down exactly how I use it. That's allowed me to work smarter, truly skyrocketing my productivity, is called Notion. And the way they market it is it's an all-in-one workspace. And honestly, I couldn't describe it in a better way, as I truly use this for all facets of my life. I use it for creating checklists, I use it for just taking notes, for project management, for content calendars, for personal CRMs, and much, much more. But since all of that would be way too long of a video to cover today, I thought I would focus on the area that I use the most and what I believe has made the biggest impact on my productivity, which is my weekly planner. Now, before I hop into my computer and really break down this workflow on my weekly planner, I want to put a disclaimer out that this is a database I have been working on continuously and updating almost at least bi-weekly for over a year and a half. And why I say this is going to be a little bit more complex, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend you starting with a more complex system and building this out overnight, but rather start simple, start with something you know, and as you use this, you'll understand what you're looking for, as our goals might differ, and therefore my workflow will be slightly different than yours. So if you like what you see from this video and have inspired you to create your own, make sure you watch to the end, as I'll be sharing with you exactly how you can do it yourself and how you can get a head start on what I personally had to start with myself. Other than that, let's just hop on in. All right, guys, so I thought we would start off here in my dashboard and show you a little bit about how I get to my weekly planner and how I set it up overall. So watching a couple YouTube videos, I thought that a dashboard would be smart, as a bunch of other smart people were having a dashboard. And essentially what this is you see my mission statement or my goals right here. But below that, just some quick links that allows me to access anything that I would need to access sooner, as well as this inbox. Now, I'm testing out this feature and I'd be happy to explain it in a bit more, but what it says. It's an inbox where I just throw things and then for me to sort at a later date with some more random things. Now, this is my weekly planner, which we'll be jumping in just a moment, which is the whole reason I wanted to show you guys Notion, but wanted to just show you the rest of my dashboard first so you understood. This is what I call my second brain, or the books that I am reading right now and how I capture my notes on them. Let me know or comment below if you guys would love to understand my whole reading process and how I remember everything I read. It's this fantastic workflow that I've worked up over time, and be happy to share if you guys are interested. And then below here is just a watch list of any YouTube videos or podcasts that I want to watch that I haven't seen. All right, so let's dive on into it. So typically at the beginning of every week, I'll go in here and create a new one. So I went ahead and just quickly created this example one for us to go through. So I like to make it a full page so it looks a little nicer. One of the things I really like about Notion is that you can make it your own. So usually per month, I have a different emoji or theme for that. So for this month, because I've just been extremely grateful for the flowers on my walks, I decided to make May all about flowers. And yeah, so, you can go Unsplash, which is a free pixel thing. And I usually just go flowers and I'll choose one. And then that's my thing. So what's great about this is I tend to enter a lot of this information initially so that it's just easier to sort. So for me, my weeks are from Monday to Sunday. Now, for the most part, I don't enter any of this. It's just everything I track. Where it really starts is right here. All right, so this is where the real planning begins for me. And as you see, I just made this little custom banner to make it a little bit more appeasing. But this is where I enter in my weekly tasks. Now, for me, with the planner I use, which I'll flash on the screen right now, is just a basic planner off of Amazon, and it happens to have 15 tasks. So that's what I kind of base this off of. So for me, I typically will go here, so it just makes everything simple, and I'll go example, and that'll allow me to enter this. Now, when I'm entering a task, as you see, it shows the week that it's on, and then I can do it. So for instance, in this case, it could be film video. Now, what I found to be really helpful when I'm trying to be intentional with the goals I'm setting is to have them actually under a certain category. So that's what this here is. And this just allows me to understand where my priorities are for that week. So maybe this week is more on my real estate stuff. So I'd have more realtor things. And it's just a quick visual thing that another thing I love about Notion is not just the personalization with the different emojis and covers, but also the little color details. I don't know, for me, it just makes a difference rather than looking at a blank or black and white piece of text. So I have realtor, and then what I often do is a priority. Now this allows me to ensure that when I'm planning my weeks that I have a couple different things. Now the way I tend to plan it is a 5-tier system or a 3-tier system with 5 things each, which I typically go with the red or the orange, the yellow, and then the green or the brown and the blue. Now, one of the things that I've picked up with building this out over time is I tended at the beginning to overplan my week in the sense I was committing too much and never really hitting the goals, as at the end of the day, you want smart goals. And one of the things is a realistic goal. And this allows me. So this allows me, I've realized that I have 100 Pomodoros, and this kind of aligns with my planner that I talked about just a moment ago. And essentially it's half an hour blocks. So 100 basically roughly comes out to 5 working days or about 10 hours each day I can plan to do work, which is this one here. And my goal is to have 100 planned by the end of the week. That way I know it's decently realistic if I can get it done. Finally, just if it relates to any of my projects that I can easily do, I can add it in there, and then this is just a done feature to show if I'm done. Besides the actual part where I input my planning, I have a couple of things because no one's perfect, including myself, and that's why I have this thing right here called the last weeks, which is basically is literally as it sounds. It has my tasks that I did not complete that are undone, so that I can plan to input them if they're important into the next week's tasks. Besides that, I just have some quick links to some projects or tasks I can see, as well as some higher overviews where I can look into my monthly goals or my quarterly goals or my yearly goals if I have forgotten what they are. Now, one of the things that I think everyone should do when planning out their weeks is always look for rooms of improvement. Now, one of the ways I did this, and it was kind of by accident, was the same thing with my notebook. It's actually there where it asks you, what's one improvement you're going to do this week and why? So I just got in that habit, and this is why this is in here. Now, this is kind of where I've added in more things since the basic rudimentary things. Is my weekly meal plan, as I like to meal prep myself, and I found a lot of my meal preps were essentially just the week before's meal prep, which is a problem. So I added this in here with a complete database, or semi-complete, I still am working on it, where I have a bunch of my different meal preps that I use on a regular basis and their macros, so I can understand what I'm doing, because I personally don't like to count calories on a daily basis, but if I understand what my meal prep is, that gives me a good enough parameter. Now we go on to the reflection part. So this is typically when the week is done, I'll sit down and I'll go through how the week went and what we're done. So again, I just quickly go and label anything. So if we go here and we quickly go example, you can see that film video is here. Now I can see, well, did I get it, did not finish? Was it archived, completed, working on? So in this case, I'm filming, so it's going to be completed. Now this is just the project and due date if I added that in at the beginning. But besides looking at how many tasks I actually got done, there's a bit more I'd recommend to reflecting on your week. So what I found worked really well was a couple of these questions that we're going to go through now. The first question was, how effective was the week? So I asked myself, I have on my planner, it rates every day. At the end of the day, I sit down and I rate it through 1 through 10, and this is where I just average it out. So let's say this week was an 8. The related effectiveness, this is basically not the average, but how I feel it went by just reflecting on the week. So it was effective. Now, one of the things that I've tried to do is be more emotionally aware, I guess you could say. And that's why I've just added in these couple things so I could log how I was feeling that week and maybe why stuff didn't go as well as planned, etc. So this week I'm super appreciative, so I'll throw that in there. And then it's just a quick note about why I learned. Now, one of the things that I'm truly believe very wholeheartedly is that you need to learn on a consistent basis. And one of the ways I keep myself accountable is by adding this key learnings in here. So in this case, this week I'm reading all about content marketing or epic content marketing. So I add this in here so that when I go through my weekly things, it goes through that. And then if I have a personal journal there. Finally, a couple of more things I track. I tend to like to track all my habits. Again, keeping me accountable, going, if I actually excuse my language, but if I actually read every day, do I read? So I have an app called Done. I'll flash a quick screenshot of what that looks like, allowing me to track this. And I just simply enter all of these informations in here. Then here is my health tracker where I track my body fat, weight, as well as a couple of my Fitbit scores. And then I thought it was important to add in some wins and some losses, because you can really go through getting all your goals done. But if you don't take the chance to really understand and appreciate your wins or reflect on your losses and how you can improve, then in my opinion, there's really no point in journaling or planning, as at the end of the day, this is all done to improve yourself. And then again here, this is where I input the improvement that you saw at the beginning. And then this is a new addition that I'm still working with, but it's how I track my real estate. So that's how I plan my week. Let's look quickly at how I review it. What's great about me entering all this stuff is then when I go to my monthly reviews, I can truly look and go, how was this week? What were the percentage tasks? And quickly look at different things, right? I can track my habits. I can see how many things. I can track really anything here that you see. And this allows me to be more accountable and really pinpoint areas that I need to become more productive in, or where I need to focus, or where the struggles are, and taking away my just ability to perform on a daily basis. Because at the end of the day, success is all about consistency and showing up. Now, I was going to show a couple other things, but I don't want to make this video too long. So if you want me to explain other workflows in Notion, comment below. So there you guys have it. That was my entire workflow on how I use Notion for my weekly planner, allowing me to achieve my goals faster and become more accountable to myself. Now, originally when I was creating the script for this video, I thought I would create a template for you guys to download. But to be honest, I felt like that was going to be a disservice to you guys, as like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that all our goals are different. So rather than adding a standardized template of what matches my goals, what I thought I would do instead was offer the ability for you to message me on Instagram, where we can set up a time where I'd be happy to help you set up your own personal Notion planner through a 30-minute Zoom call, allowing you to get started. So if you're interested in that, feel free to message me on Instagram. I'd be happy to help you get started using Notion. And if you just want to download Notion or try it out for yourself, there'll be a link in the description so that you can download the app and try it out. Other than that, guys, make sure you smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, or if you just learned Notion for the first time and you're gonna try it out. And make sure to hit the subscribe button if you wanna learn anything more about personal development, real estate, or finance, as this is what my channel is all about, is trying to empower you to make better decisions and just become a more productive human being. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great and successful week, and I'll talk to you next week.